Hi, it's Miss Shywall, and I'm going to show you how to color in your mandala. The first thing we have to do is we have to design one, I'll just call it like slice of pie. Okay, we have to design one of these slices of pie. And then that slice is going to get repeated throughout the whole rest of the pie. So, first thing you want to do is you want to draw your fish in here, and not too small. So I'm just going to take this fish by Crichton Granados, and I'm going to draw it in here. I'm not going to trace the pie itself yet. And so that it doesn't move around, I'm just going to tape it with tiny little pieces of tape. And I'm just going to try to get this shape. So the shape is, I'm going to draw a light till you get it right. Okay, the shape is kind of like this. Not quite enough room for my tail, so I'm going to make it a little smaller. So this is not exactly what it looks like, but good enough for our demonstration here. Alright, and it has some I'm just doing it fast. You're going to do it much slower than I am. Okay. Now I'm just going to simplify the coloring. Okay, now I've got it the shape I want it to be. I'm actually going to move it a bit so it fits it better. Also, I might try it this way and see if I like it better that way. Or this way. Doesn't look too bad like that. But I think I'm going to stick with this. And I think I'm going to adjust the tail a bit. I don't have eraser, but it doesn't matter. Alright, and then I'll just darken it up and make it a little more precise. And I'm just going to put one stripe instead of all the stripes he's got. Okay, so I've got my fish. Now I want to add some other sea-like embellishments. So I'm going to look online for like seaweed. Let me just show you what I've got here. So I found some interesting pictures of seaweed, and I think I'll use some of them in some of these areas here. I also would like to show you a picture of another student's mandala, and she has her seaweed in the middle like this. Then she also has, you can see closely, she has some starfish, she has some bubbles. Maybe this outside here is also supposed to be grass, seagrass or something. So I'm going to fill in your empty space with some shells or creatures or seaweed or corals Let me go back to this one. All right, so I think I'll put some of this in the middle here. And maybe some curly stuff here. And maybe something like that over here. So you're drawing half a piece of seaweed here and half a piece there, and down here I'm just drawing about 1/8 of this, and you'll see why in a moment. Okay, so take your time and figure out what you actually want to include here. I might actually do like a decorative edge, like kind of like ocean waves. Guess I don't want to get it too close to the edge here. Oops, don't mean to put that there. Alrighty, now I have designed my slice of pie. Next thing we want to do is we're going to transfer this to the next slice of pie. So you want to make sure that you do darken it up eventually. And the pencil that you're using should be not too soft so that the line stays sharp. So you want all of your lines to be dark enough so that you can transfer it, and I'll show you what that means in just a second. Alrighty, so in order to transfer this, I'm going to flip it over. Oh, I have to draw the edges also here so that I can position it correctly. And a ruler would be good. I don't have one at the moment, but a ruler would be best for this part. Okay, so I'm going to take my tape off here, and I'm going to flip this around to the other side. It might not fit exactly, that's okay. Do the best you can. Tape it down. I'm just going to tape it on one side so I can open it like a book. And then you need a ballpoint pen. And it doesn't matter what color your ballpoint pen is. It doesn't even matter if your ballpoint pen actually works. And you want to trace over the exact lines you drew on the other side. If you trace in any white spaces, nothing will happen. So you need to trace over a line that you drew on the other side, exactly. And you need to press kind of hard. You don't want to make like a dent in your paper. You pressed so hard, but you do need to put some pressure on it. And so if we flip the paper, you can see that I've transferred my fish. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go back to the pencil. Make sure you use a pencil that is not too, I'm sorry, that was a mistake. Make sure you use a pencil that isn't too soft. Because if you use a pencil that's too soft or dark, your lines will get so thick that you'll lose the detail in your fish. Sorry, just imagine that I did that in pencil. You're going to have to keep sharpening your pencil. So use like a HB pencil. That would be a good hardness to use. I'm going to keep checking to make sure I've got. Okay, I'm going to do this really fast because it is kind of time consuming, but you don't want to do it fast. You don't want to hurry because every time you transfer this, you're going to lose more detail if you don't do it carefully. And by the time you're finished, oops, didn't mean to do that. By the time you're finished, everything will look really off. So do this part carefully. If it doesn't transfer perfectly, you can always just draw it yourself. If you miss a line, just go back and go over it. Now I'm doing such a messy job that this would probably start getting all distorted very quickly. But I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. All right, it's working. Did I do that? Yes, I did that one already. Okay, now what you're going to do is take it off and pay attention. You're going to flip it so that the fish are back to back. Position it in here again. Do the same thing. You're going to trace over it. Put the tape on this side again. And I should sharpen my pencil, but I didn't. So I don't want to waste any time. I do have to be careful because if I go too fast and I don't trace the lines, they will not transfer. Like that one there that I missed. Okay. I'm not going to do this completely here. Okay, so when you're finished, these half designs that you made in the middle here will create a whole design. And when you draw the next one, I didn't finish this completely, but when you draw the next one, so this one is like this, right? You need to flip it. Oops, this one is like this. You need to flip it again. And so these two fish are belly to belly. So your first and second fish are back to back. Your second and third fish are belly to belly. And you keep flipping it every time you go around. And so this eventually will look like that shape of that coral or whatever it was. All of these will have their own shape. Every fish will have its own shape. And when you're finished with that, you will trace it with a Sharpie marker and erase all your pencil lines. Okay. Well, enjoy.